Well, hello, Viking fans, and welcome to this edition of the Lamar Viking Baseball Paul Kino Coaches Show. I'm Bill Frawley, and with me, of course, as always, Coach Kino. Coach, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good. I'm real good. A little tired, but I'm okay. It's baseball season. You're going to be tired. Just got to get used to it.
Yep. Hopefully, it's a good tired overall.
Oh, it's a good tired.
And I guess the guys are going home good tired, hopefully.
I hope so. They're working hard. So, there's certain times you got to prod them a little bit, but overall, I'm really pleased with what they're doing and how they're working. Just got to get better every single day. And, they're high school kids, and sometimes, things go on in their lives. It could be girlfriends. It could be, parents are mad at them or whatever, and they might lose sight of being focused right at that moment. And you got to remind them, but they're great kids and they're fun to be around. And I love coaching them.
That is true about teenage guys. Both of mine are now officially not teenagers anymore, but I remember someone told me before mine were teenagers, there's the two fumes that'll get those teenage guys: car fumes and perfumes. But yeah, it's challenging to keep their focus. But hey, you're right. What a great group of guys and stuff.
Oh, they're wonderful.
And man, how they've been displaying talent and fight and whatever you want to call it in the scrimmages so far. The varsity team, I haven't yet to make it to a varsity scrimmage. I just figured out, I think, this so far, but I keep up with it on Game Changer if I'm out of town or something else, and they're having some success. The bats have come alive. They're scoring some runs.
Yeah, we practiced before we scrimmaged on Monday, and practice wasn't going to be a real big practice. We hit in the cages. JV1 and JV2 were scrimmaging on the field, and then when they got done, we're going to go out and do some pitcher PFPs and work some bunt coverages and some first and thirds and some picks. But first and thirds weren't going very well. We weren't very focused. And so we had a little session of maybe a high volume by me session down the left field line, and talk to them, just ask them, what do they want? And maybe this is right or wrong to say. I was like, do you want to be mediocre? I said, to me, you have the talent to be exceptional this year. And I feel like it's my job to get that talent out of you. But at the same time, I don't want to yell at you every single day. What do you want? Because ultimately it's your choice. This is your team. What do you want it to be? And, we talked about some different things. We've scrimmaged well, but at the same time, there's things that, obviously we can get better on. We weren't having a real good 2-strike approach. And I wanted them to learn that, like when we scrimmaged Poteet, Peyton Browning, he's our number one. He got frustrated because they did a great job with 2 strikes of fouling off a bunch of pitches. The 2-strike approach, letting the fastball travel. I'm not going to worry about getting the barrel out, so I'm not going to chase a breaking ball down in the zone or change up something off speed down in the zone. I'm going to take that pitch for a ball because I'm not looking to get the barrel out front. I'll fight the fastball off. And they did a fantastic job. And Peyton got frustrated. He threw well, but he came off and he was like, Coach, they're fouling everything off. I was like, dude, I was like, calm down. I said, your job is to keep throwing strikes. I said,
Yep.
You got to tip your hat to them. They have a great approach at the plate and they're executing it. And I talked to our kids. I said, think about how good we could be if we had an approach like that. If you guys bought in. I said, I've been preaching that for 4 years. I said, but we haven't all bought in. I said, if you will take that approach with the talent that we have, when you have 2 strikes, how good can you be? How good could we be? And they're like, we'd be really good. I said, then why don't you do it? And they actually took that approach into the scrimmage on Monday. And I think we had a lot of 2-strike hits. I think one of them, we had a 2-strike homer. Jalen's homer was on 2 strikes.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
And widen out a little bit, have a little bit more back control. And and a lot of the kids were coming out of the scrimmage going, Coach, that works. And, hopefully they feed on it. Hopefully it's not, the 24, 48 hour, focus bug.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited about this team. I think we have a great potential. I think I'm not going to, we play in a tough district, but I believe in my team and I believe they could win a district championship if they want to play scrappy, gutsy, baseball. And they want to take a good 2-strike approach and battle at the plate. and do those things. And, we talk other things, but I don't want to put it on air as far as, what we're
Yeah.
looking for and we're going to hit in case anybody's watching it. But, but, I'm really proud of them, and I'm always proud of them.
Right.
I'm always wanting more out of them. Like I tell them, whether it's fair or unfair, I'm never satisfied. When we reach one goal, I want to reach the next goal. And I want them to never be satisfied. I always want them to be hungry. I always want them to want to improve because I think so highly of them. And not just the varsity. I think that way of our JV, and I think that way of our
Yeah.
freshman group. I think so highly of these young men. I want them to never be satisfied. And I think that they can do anything that they want to do.
And I think there's got to be a challenge there, coach. A couple of challenges. One is finding how to motivate them collectively because, hey, I've worked with youth for 33 years in different ways and with my own sons, but finding this young man is going to be motivated this way. This one's going to be motivated this way. You can't break off and do one-on-one motivational with each of them. So you have to find a way to motivate them collectively, which then involves, I think, some peer motivation. Would
Well, I
that be
agree
fair?
with you. And we've started to have some young men step up and be leaders because I do believe a team that is led by its peers, led by its leaders, is the best team of all. I mean, they will reach higher, their season will be better. They will reach more goals that they set because you're responsible to each other. You
Yeah.
need to play for each other. And, that's the thing that I have about, summer league is summer league's very much individual. You're playing for yourself. It's not a big deal if you win or lose. If I don't play this game, I'm going to play the next game, but in high school, you play for your teammates, not only for yourself, but you need to play for your teammates. You don't want to let them down. I don't want to be the weak link. I want to, I want to be that hitter. Even if they get me, they got to throw 10, 12 pitches to get me. I want my teammates respect. I want them to know that, hey, I'm a good baseball player and I got their back also. And I think that's very, very important. I think we're starting to get some young men to step up and be leaders. And like I talked to him about, it's okay to demand from your teammates, demand, excellence from your teammates, but if you're going to demand excellence, you better show excellence. You better be hustling. You better be doing all the things that you're demanding from your teammates. And you need to do it in a way that you don't put your teammates down. It needs to be in a way like, hey, I'm dependent on you. We're depending on you. I don't know what's going on today, but you're not the same person. You're not practicing as hard as what you normally do. We need you to pick it up. And nothing to put them down, but at the same time to let them know, hey, I'm dependent on you. I need you to pick it up. And we have some guys starting to do that. And it's really nice because then it makes my job easier. I don't have to be the one trying to do it all the time.
Yeah, and I've heard you say similar things in previous seasons, sometimes later in the season. So it sounds hopeful, promising that some of those young men are becoming those peer leaders, motivators before the tournaments even begin.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, good deal. Well, speaking of the tournaments, we have the tournament season or, part of the season coming up this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Tell us a little bit about the varsity tournament, where they will be and some of the teams you're going to face. Because I know you like to get into tournaments that prepare the Vikings to be in playoff situations.
I want to play good people, and, Coach Nixon, who was the old coach at Arlington High, used to talk about it. I don't worry about what my record is coming out of tournaments. Obviously, I'd like to be, if we play 16 games, I'd like to be 16-0, but we're going to go play good people. And that's what I want to go play. And we're going to find out what we need to get better at and who we are as a team at that moment and how we need to improve. Because, we're going to face Louisville. Thursday we play at Louisville. We're going to face Louisville, and then we're going to face the Colony. And then Friday we're at Independence High School, Frisco Independence, and we're going to play McKinney and we're going to play Frisco Independence. And then Saturday we're back at Louisville and we're going to play Frisco High School. And we're going to play some good people. And, I'm not worried. The only thing is we don't have a ton of pitching depth. So, I mean, I have 5 that I feel really, really good about. They've been filling it up. They've been throwing a bunch of strikes, doing a great job. And then we have some guys who can do the job, but they just not been throwing enough strikes right now. And we've got to do, Coach Goodman does a great job with them, but they've got to be confident in themselves and 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 turn that around. Their strike percentage has got to come up because they have the talent to do it. They've just got to do it. And so it worries me playing 5 games in 3 days. You don't have their pitch count. We've worked really hard to get their pitch count built up, but we're only going to look 70, 75 pitches, for the first tournament, and then maybe 80, 85 the second tournament. So we're going to need a lot more arms during tournaments to compete. And, your worry is, you could be playing a tight game or you could be up or down, but it's a real tight game. And then you bring in a guy and you're playing really well, but you bring in a guy who's not throwing strikes or doesn't throw enough strikes.
There it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you walk the leadoff hitter, guy steals second or a block ball, he takes second base. And all of a sudden they score a couple runs and they really hadn't hit the ball hard or really got any hits, but they scored a couple runs because we've produced those runs for them. And, 5 guys are really good at right now and not doing that. But we got to get some other guys that are, get their strike percentage up.
Gotcha. It makes sense. And that confidence, that's a huge part of any aspect of the game, really, from pitching to being the batter. And I was watching my son David's college games this past weekend. I was talking with some of the different parents, and if we were talking about, it was really windy, high fly ball. It might go, I mean, probably no exaggeration, 100 feet in the air, 80 feet. And then here's this outfielder. The higher it goes, the more time that outfielder or infielder has to think about, where's that ball going to land? Am I in the right spot? Can I do this? Is it going to hurt?
Yeah.
And too much time to think. And sometimes, I've talked to my sons about, they'll say, yeah, Dad, I thought too much some of the times when I was up at bat. And kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, confidence at the plate and the 2-strike approach and going into it with, because I've heard players and coaches, yourself included, I believe, say things like, go into the batter's box with the thought, I'm going to hit the ball.
Yeah.
And then if it's not a good pitch, lay off, not, I hope I get one to hit. Is that right?
You got to expect to swing the bat every pitch. I mean, you've heard me say it before. It's yes, yes, no. I'm swinging the bat until I tell myself no. And I think how you gain your confidence is how hard you work. It's through hard work. It's through working hard in the cages. When I coached at Cleburne, there was a great sign. The cages were out behind the right field fence of the field, and there was a great sign that said, "Build your swing here and trust your swing there." And it had a arrow pointing to the field. So you have to work really, really hard in the cages, and not just go in there and swing, but work on your craft. Work on hitting the ball the other way. Work on hitting the curveball. Work on staying back. And you got to work really, really hard so that you have that confidence when you go in the game, that you truly believe in yourself and in your heart, I can hit anybody. It doesn't make a difference who they put on the mound. I'm going to hit. And the only way you achieve that is through hard work. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah. And I think maybe this is from, a parent of recent players and one still playing in college to some other parents. If your son says, I need to go to the cage or I need to go do this and work on it, trust him. I'm saying this as a, parent, trust him, encourage him. I mean, when Charlie and David and I went out to Charlotte, North Carolina between Christmas and New Year's to move Charlie out there after graduating from college, David twice went to find DBAT facilities in Charlotte area to go take some reps, and the cages and stuff. And I'm like, at first, I was like, really? But I'm like, wow, this guy's working hard.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what you're talking about. Every chance you can, right?
Yeah. I mean, have a group of friends that you go hit with all the time.
Yeah.
Like I tell the kids, what you get here at school is not enough. I mean, the 2 hours every single day is not enough. I mean, I'm not asking you it's your whole world. That's not healthy. But if you want to play at the next level, it takes a lot of hard work, because there's a lot of kids out there with talent that want to play and have the same dream you do. And what's going to separate you from them? And, it just takes a lot of hard work.
Sure enough. And so that's kind of a good message to the players and the parents or other caregivers, whatever the situation might be. Hey, speaking of college, I'm going to shift gears from it. We might wander around in this
Oh, no
conversation,
problem.
but we mentioned some in the last show. I was talking and Merritt J, Lamar product
Mhm.
sophomore. He had his first college start recently. Came out with a 4-2 win in 4 innings. He gave up only 4 hits and had 3 strikeouts.
That's
Not bad
fantastic.
for his first college outing,
No,
huh?
that's awesome. That is so awesome. I'm so excited for him. I mean, him, Tucker, Parker, Sean,
Yeah,
Kelly, all the guys that are playing in college. Brendan Bell's playing with the Rough Riders. I'm so excited for those young men. They were great players for me. They worked extremely hard, and their hard work's paying off. I know they're working hard in college. Your son also. I know they're
yeah,
working so hard, and I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting to see them be successful. I know that they're going to be successful as individual people because they're good people, and it's exciting for me to see them live their dreams.
sure enough. And talk about being successful people. And I hope we never wear this out. I don't think we will. But the whole idea that the other coaches, Coach Skinner at football and any of the previous coaches, it's developing these boys into young men. I'll call them young men now, on and off the field, and
Hmm.
preparing them for life's challenges. And, again, talking to some parents at games and other times, but so many times, people that are hiring, they'll look at resumes. Oh, you were on a team sport. Oh, they
Hmm.
must have been, and then be ready to talk about those challenges, how you overcame them, how you
Well,
worked together.
that them as people is the most important thing. I mean, athletics, we want to win and you want to have a good team and I want to win the state championship. But
Yeah.
ultimately it is about them being good people and them learning lessons through sports. And I think sports teaches the greatest lessons. I think if for whatever reason, I don't think they ever will, but if they take sports out of high school, they're doing a disservice.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yes.
mean, sports teaches you hard work. It teaches you perseverance. It teaches you how to deal with failure because you're not always going to succeed. How do you do? How do you deal with it? Do you quit? Do you mope around or do you get back out there and you find a way to get it done? You know,
And do you support your teammates?
exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, it's about working, like you said, in a team. It's not just individual, it's working with others, it's communicating with others. You know, how do you do those things? And it teaches you so many life lessons. And I think sports are so important that way. And I think kids who play sports are stronger kids, not just physically, but mentally.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and
Well, thank goodness for you and your coaching staff and the other coaches of the other sports. You're the ones helping to train them up in these ways. So thank you on behalf
well,
of a
well,
parent that had sons go through your program.
well, you're welcome. I mean, like I've said before in other shows, making decisions on who plays and who doesn't play, it's hard, and it's hard on me because you build relationships. I mean, I think as a coach, you look, and as a teacher, you look to build those relationships with your students, with your players, and because you want them to know that you care about them personally, not just as a player. And so you don't ever want to hurt a kid because I know every single kid on my team wants to play.
Oh, yeah. That's why
So
they're there.
exactly. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, decisions are hard, but they're hard. And but you have to make the decision of who you feel that the best players are that give you the opportunity to win. And it's going to hurt kids when you make those decisions. And you try to talk to them and you try to keep encouraging them and telling them what they need to get better at. But it doesn't make it any easier. It really doesn't make it easier on us because we feel it. But
Oh, yeah.
you know, you know,
Well, I'm going to share this. I've shared it. Hopefully, it's been a couple of years because I think but it's important for newer parents, caregivers, players into the program, as well as the veterans. Um, Coach, you are approachable. And I have personal experience with that. My older son, Charlie, when he was probably sophomore, junior, I can't remember, he said to me, Dad, I want to go talk to Coach Kino. And, you like for a parent to be there, not
mhm,
to advocate for their son, but, to be a part of and hear what's being said by both.
mhm,
And I said, well, set up a time and I'll be here. And that was so wonderful because I was there and pretty much stayed quiet. But Charlie asked you, what can I do to get better? What can I
mhm.
do to improve? And I just want players to know and parents, that's the approach to take. You, Coach Kino, the other coaches are approachable. I encourage people to take advantage,
Most,
not necessarily take advantage of that, but use that. Yeah.
most definitely. I mean, I've been in all types of different parent meetings, and
I
you
know.
know, but I mean, that's the way to do it. I mean, we're not going to
Yeah.
talk about playing time, obviously, and obviously you can be mad at me. You have a right to your feelings, and you can
Yeah.
be mad at me, and you can think I'm wrong. But I honestly don't know a coach who doesn't play who the best nine that they think that they have,
Yeah.
or best 11 in football or best five in basketball. And I mean, we're not out there to play somebody who, or we're not out there to not put the best kids out on the field. And,
Exactly.
and parents, they can disagree with me, and it's okay. As long as I will respect your opinion, as long as you can respect mine.
There you go. And well, and you're so good at that. And I just want everyone to know, hey, it's real.
Well,
So,
thank you.
and that's my experience too.
Well,
So,
thank you.
sure, sure. Well, let's switch gears a little bit now. So, JV1 will be hosting a tournament this
Mhm.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the Lamar Viking Diamond. I saw the tarp being put out, saw the message on Sports U as I drove over the Davis Drive Bridge over 30, coming home from
Yep.
work earlier. I saw the tarp out, and there's some rain forecasts off and on over the next few days. Hopefully, it's not enough to completely goof things up. Anything you want to say? I know you're not a crystal ball meteorologist, but talk to us about that a little bit.
Well, I hope we get turf sometime soon.
Hey, Coach, if I ever win the big lottery, the first 6 million is going to go to put turf fields at every high school in our
It would just make our lives so much easier. But it's the time of the year that we get some rain, and you do your best you can. We put the tarp out. Hopefully some water got underneath it under the ice that day. We're lucky we got it playable for that scrimmage. So looking at the forecast, it's supposed to be out of here by about 9 in the morning. There's like 15% chance after 9 o'clock. So it's more from 3 o'clock to about 8 o'clock, 9-ish.
Okay.
So hopefully most of it misses us, and pull the tarp, and hopefully we'll be able to practice tomorrow. And that would be the ultimate scenario. If we
Gotcha.
pull it and we get a little water, hopefully we can work around the water and practice tomorrow. And then, let it cut it open and let it start drying so we can get it ready to go for Thursday. I'll be up there doing that for probably quite a while tomorrow, if that's the case. But it's just, you deal with it, and it makes things hectic. Parents want to know, are we playing? Are we not playing? When the games are, and so, I'm dealing with my tournament, and I'm trying to help Coach Gill with that tournament, and, it gets all hectic. But, we had an Arlington High, I had to send some stuff out on Sports U. Arlington High has a situation with their coaches, and the head coach had asked me if we could switch, if they could play the early games on Thursday, Friday. So the easiest thing was just put Arlington High in our spot, and we played in Arlington High spot. So we're playing at 3 and 7 o'clock. We're playing at 3 o'clock on Thursday against Burleson Centennial. And then we're playing at 7 o'clock on Friday against Trinity. So, easy fix, but, it creates things like, our booster club does a great job about getting things out on media. So, I got to get them, I got texts today about, well, who are we playing? So I can get it out on the social media, and it's just, it's good problems to have. You have parents that are involved, and they're making your program better, and they're doing it for the kids. So it's good problems to have.
And it's nice that you and the other coaches, like over at Arlington High, y'all can work together. Yeah, I'll switch out. I'll make life easier instead of harder for you. We'll work together, because I know you've had to ask for those types of things in the past, and so that's good.
Exactly.
Yeah. So JV2, mostly freshmen. They'll be in a tournament also somewhere. Is it at Martin?
Yeah, it's Martin. They play their games at Martin.
Okay.
It's Martin Legacy, but we're going to be playing at Martin.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So hopefully they have a good showing as well. It'll be interesting to talk in about a week or a little less to find out how everyone did and what y'all saw. But
I'm excited. Oh, I am too.
I think we said that at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited. I mean, I'm ready to, go out and compete against another team, obviously more than scrimmages. It's a different feel during scrimmages, maybe not quite as got the oomph of it. It's kind of a little bit more than a practice, but at the same time, it's not, hey, you win or lose. And so, I'm excited to see us go out and perform at all levels.
Well, that sounds great. You've mentioned the Booster Club. Let's plug them one more time, as
Oh yeah.
well as thanking them for what they do, but express how important it is for people to get involved, work the concession stand, help out in other ways.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Shooty do a fabulous job. The McKays do a fabulous job with, the concession stand. I mean, we've got some people who are, I wish I knew everybody's names who are volunteering, but we got a lot of people who are doing quite a bit of things. And, the more people we can get to do, the less that you have to do each individual. And, it's for the benefit of the kids. And, whatever the Booster Club raises, it goes to the kids, and whether it's new uniforms or whatever they need, it goes to
Yeah.
the kids. So it goes to the program. So it's just betterment. I've said it a ton of times. I mean, AISD does a great job of giving us things we need, as far as our budget, but it's just never enough. It's not.
Yeah.
And so if you want to have a really good program, you got to have a really good Booster Club. And I have a great Booster Club. They do a fantastic job, and I can't thank them enough.
Well, and as another encouragement type thing, the camaraderie that builds up by working in the concession stand. Sometimes I've done that. I'll come down from the PA booth sometimes, and I'll just hang out with the people down there. It's a lot of fun getting to know other people in the Booster Club, and more about them, and just gaining that comfort level. So not only know them there, but you'll know them in the stands, you'll know them at the meetings and other stuff too. It's a great way to get involved, and it's not a pain in the behind to work that concession
It's
stand.
probably the best seat in the house to really
Yeah.
watch the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really enjoy getting to talk to the parents. I mean, obviously I'm in a different situation. I mean, I don't want to be standoffish, but at the same time, I don't want to, I can't be just best friends with the parents because of the role I'm in, because I have to make decisions on kids. But
Right.
I really enjoy them, getting to talk to them. They're good people. And they want us to succeed. They want the program to succeed, and they want their child to succeed. And that's what you ask. You just want them to succeed.
Definitely so. Well, Coach, anything else you want to add before we wrap it up for this week?
No, I love doing this. You make it so easy, Mr. Frawley, and uh, ask
Thanks.
me anything, and I'll try to
Yeah.
give you a good answer or the best answer I got. And
And to let people know, I think I'll just tell one of our, we don't script this ahead of time.
no, we
I
just
used
talk.
to send you a script, and I realized I don't think he has time to read it. You gain, or you earn I earned your trust, whatever. And I know what to ask and not to ask overall. But this is fun. I enjoy the heck out of this. So
Oh, I
I'm
do
glad
too.
it's a privilege for me. So, and you're great at it also. It rolls. It's a great
Well,
conversation.
thank you.
Yeah. So, well, until next time, which hopefully will be Monday evening next week, we'll see our schedules, how they work out. I'm Bill Frawley with head Viking coach Paul Kino saying VFND.